What up? Pryme.mega, new tree drops on the floor. Trees up. What's good, y'all? Happy New Year. Checking in with y'all. Man, a lot has been going on in the world. Some stuff, I mean, you can't miss it, right? So what I've been trying to do as much as possible, and also just being real with myself, is I set a goal to start reading more books. And just to me, this is one of those moments in time, one of those seasons in time that I feel like just better prepared to arm myself with more knowledge about the world, knowledge about different circumstances, situations, and most importantly, knowledge that will help me reinforce things internally in myself, force me to look inward, to try to correct anything that I feel as though may be slowing me down, hindering me, you name it. So shout out to my moms. Shout out to Mom Dukes. She got me this book for Christmas. I love books as a gift, especially in this point in time in my life, because it's funny, my wife got me a book about a couple of months ago. Just checked it out. Also on music, another artist, but not to change the subject. I'm just trying to get the habit, because all the books that I have, I've just been rereading them. So I was like, man, I need something new. So my mom got me a book. It's called Atomic Habits. It's by an author by the name of James Clear. Actually, I can show y'all the cover. Of course, I left it at home. I didn't have it with me. I actually been trying to record a few vlogs, but I couldn't find my battery charger, but now I have everything together. But here's the title. Here's the cover. It's what it looks like there. So, it's basically a guide as to show you how to correct bad habits, to reinforce the good ones that you do have. It's also, and y'all know how I am about motivation Mondays and goals and stuff like that. It also is that's definitely a big part of the picture, in that you can utilize, it's good to have goals, but the way this book, so far, I'm like, about halfway through. I'm taking my time so I can just process everything, but the book really capitalizes on the fact that it's really about the journey and not the destination. And so they're saying if you build up habits and you build up a discipline that will, like, not to just focus on, you being at a specific point in time, that, yeah, you got the goal, you won, you won the championship trophy. It's not really about that trophy. It's what did you do? Process what you did to get you there. That's what you hold on to most. Don't hold on to the trophy, the trinket, the little physical thing. That's not it. It's the idea and culmination of the things that have brought you to this point, that you have actually peaked at something in a moment in time. And the goal is longevity, to continue that. And basically what he's saying is it is possible to keep that continuous, as long as you don't focus solely on the goal itself. It's okay to have the goal. I'm not saying it's not, but it's mainly the discipline and the habits and the things that you've had to discard out of your skill set, to reinforce your skill, the things you have to discard in order to reinforce the skill set to bring you to a certain point, and then it becomes a link of chain of events and discipline as a go-to guide to keep you going, like a playbook. That's really what is most important according to this book that I'm reading. And a lot of times in hindsight, when I think about it, I do, in the past, I did hold on to that moment that I tackled that goal, that task. and which is it's normal, you know. But as I guess as you progress and you evolve and you move on, with growth and time and information, you do start to seek out other means, other ways. You know, at least for me, let me speak for me. You know, no longer like once you get your first car. Okay, cool. It's awesome. You know, that's a blessing. You know, for your first job, your first paycheck. You know, and yes, the paycheck is important. You know what I'm saying? Because it brings other things, but it's the way this book is culminated. The focus is what culminated you when you even think back. What culminated those things, those tangible objects? It was you doing something consistently and persistent over time, you know. And that's just small examples, you know. Like now for me, honestly, this book really is reinforcing what I was already thinking. You know, it just put it in better, I guess, layman terms. When the articulation, you know, couldn't quite articulate myself as well. This book pretty much explains where my mind state was already heading. You know, I do have fun with putting out content and creation and things like that, but it's more not about the post, the individual post. It's really about where am I going ultimately with the content. You know what I'm saying? Like where is this leading me to, as far as just putting out information, putting out music, putting out vlogs, you name it. You know, where is it heading? And that's where the mind state is now. And I feel like because I've got a hold of where I'd like to be a few years down the road, I feel more confident in putting out more content. You know, I feel like the moment that, like, I had an epiphany, the moment that I really started to see things like that. And I also want to give y'all the credit because y'all have, you know, reached out, comments, y'all actually motivate me. I said this before, but when I started this journey last year of consistent or more consistent posting of content on the channel, I just started to, as I watched myself, I started to see things and getting phone calls and stuff. I started to see things in a different manner, in a different viewpoint, in a different perspective. I can actually see myself when I play these things back consistently, things that I shouldn't be doing, things that I can do better. But it really wasn't about that individual vlog. It was more like, you know, it was more like the whole picture, you know, rather than the individual thing. Man, I'm just getting all kinds of signals. I must be pulling in the energy, man. So, but yeah, so that book again just reinforced to me something that I needed to, I guess, hear from another source, just to reaffirm what I've already been thinking, where I've already been starting to go, the direction that I'm moving into. But yeah, like I really feel like that's something that if you are someone who is goal oriented and you have, you know, some things you'd like to accomplish, I feel like it really is this book is off to a good start for me. Like I said, I'm halfway through. I say a good start because I've kind of skipped and I keep going back to the beginning because there's certain things I'm trying to like process. Because there's times when I read, I don't know if you have this, but sometimes when I read something, I'm doing 2 and 3 things at once, and then I'm like, you know what? Let me go back and read that one part again. You know what I mean? So, like I said, so far it's off to a really good start, and it's really good at showing you how in detail. Like there's even diagrams. Like he broke it down in detail how to really just to become a new person in order to get somewhere. You know, like what are you willing to discard of yourself or of your habits in order to get to where you're going. And then also while you're going there, here's a way to keep track of the habits that are going for success, that are going to get you where you're headed. You know, I just thought it was a cool way of breaking things down. Like I said, I was already thinking that. But what's your comments? Any you know, what's your the comment below? What's y'all, any books y'all reading? some, put me on. I'm looking for information too. I'm always looking for new information, new tools, new knowledge, you name it, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's your boy Pryme.mega, just checking in. I appreciate y'all, love y'all. Let's get it, y'all. Have a blessed week, have a blessed day. Trees up.